What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here. In this training, we're going to do a two-parter. Part number one, we have an awesome training on how to maximize summer and prepare for a strong 2025-2026 school year. And if you're watching this before August 1st, there is a part two to this call where we are actually about to do our annual price increase. So we're going to do an open our doors to see if anyone's interested in getting started with us before we do that price increase, depending on you watching this in a few weeks or a few days as well too. It's our very first time meeting. My name is Coach Tony. I'm actually a former UC Berkeley admissions reader myself, former UCLA outreach director, former, actually current still, co-founder of a public charter high school as well too. I've been doing the college admissions space for over 16 years, helping thousands of families navigate through the admissions process. And doing so every single year, you start to see a lot of things every year, right? A lot of families who are overwhelmed, a lot of families who are kind of struggling with the process, things that feel like it's unpredictable. But there's probably a reason why a lot of our own coaching families do make it into a lot of these schools very successfully every single year. Schools like the Ivy, schools like the UC school, and everything kind of in between. So how has our students been able to do that? Just kind of following our kind of process and structure. And that's kind of hopefully what I'll be doing with you guys on this session. We're going to kind of pull back the curtains, kind of teach you exactly what we teach our own coaching families. And again, at the end, if they do a little open invite for families who are interested in getting started with us before the new month, which is when it's going to be our annual price increase itself. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can dive straight in. In today's session, we're going to focus on a few topics. Number one, I want to talk about the chaos, the chaos that I'm seeing a lot of families tell us this month right now in summertime. We're going to talk about grade specific timelines. So you know exactly, depending on where you're at, if you're watching this, you're probably in high school, between 8th grade and 12th grade, talking about what you should be working on. We'll talk about summer priorities, what you need to be doing this summer to make sure you kind of maximize the rest of the summer to take advantage, and what school systems that we see a lot of our students do to prepare you for the upcoming school year to make sure you are successful. Spoilers, not a lot of lot of things that you hear. A lot of these are a lot of the soft skills, a lot of things that can the real true secrets of the success behind the scenes. Again, for those who are interested, we are going to share how we can help, give you guys a little preview of that here. And if you can stick to the end, I have something really, really cool for you guys. I'm gonna call it one more thing that we'll share later on. Okay, so we'll share that again. You don't want to miss it. It's a fun bunch of awesome freebies for you guys there. So let's go ahead and start with the chaos, right? So the chaos, I want to start this because the last few weeks I've been talking to a lot of families. I ask you, what are you guys worried about? What are you guys thinking about? And then I'm seeing they're giving me. I started writing these down, and I'm gonna call it the chaos as well too, because usually there are things that happen in this journey that parents, you're kind of expected to know. Again, you have a high school counselor, but keep in mind that's their job. They help you graduate from high school, right? Do they help you get to college? They will try, they will assist you, but if you notice the things they're doing, it's not directly related to college though, right? It's directly related to high school graduation, and a lot of things that you're doing for college admission is pretty much on your own as well. So one of the things is the chaos, right? So I'm kind of laying down a few. You guys can kind of nod in your head of like, oh yeah, I had to learn that. I had to talk about that. So when it comes to things you should know or should eventually find out, right? Understand the college application systems. Keep in mind, there's multiple. There's a lot of different apps. So there's the UC app, the Common app, the Coalition app. Schools like MIT, Georgetown, they have their own portals. You hear a lot of letters that are EA, ED, early action, early decision, restrictive early action, regular decision, rolling, restrictive admissions, right? Tons of things here. There's tons of colleges, right? People only talk about top 100, but there's actually over 5,000 colleges in there. You hear a lot about perfect fit. What's the best fit for my child? There's 5,000 schools to choose from there, right? Tracking deadlines of every school. Because again, if you notice, so you start looking, every school does have different deadlines. They don't all kind of magically coincide in one. Knowing test option, you hear that a lot now of like, hey, schools test required, test optional, test blind. What does that mean? Money's a big factor as well too, right? FAFSA, CSS, the EFC, the SAI, the more acronyms that you hear as well too, right? Things to fill out your aid, your taxes, bank statements, assets as well too. You hear a lot about different types of aid, merit aid, need aid, scholarships. People just group it in one bucket. It's actually not a bucket, it's different things as well. So you got to figure out what teachers to talk to for letters of rec. Do you need to do it? When do you need to ask? Is it too late to ask for them? FERPA is another big one. It's the your rights as letters of rec. That's a big thing here. Understanding and brag sheets. A lot of your schools use Naviance and SCOIR as more school deadlines, college, like I mentioned, they're all scattered all over. Again, avoiding missing deadlines because of time zones as well. Because if you notice, not every app is due, not every 9 p.m. at the same 9 p.m. It's different time zones as well too. And tracking everything above. That's not all, right? There's more. There's strategy stuff, understanding how to build a student story, making sure your activities support that, knowing what actually matters. It's not doing a lot of clubs as well too, right? Understanding if you're applying to the UC schools, applying how they use augment to review. There's 13 factors for augment. Understand what institutional priorities are, what every school specifically looking for their students, making sure their classes align with the major. And again, this does start as early as people tell me, oh, I'm gonna wait to figure this out later on. Well, you should be starting now if you're aiming for a competitive school, competitive major as well too. Avoiding filler activities. What are filler activities as well too? AP, IB, dual enrollment courses. You hear this a lot. Should you take it? Should you not? Which ones to take as well? They're talking about who you are as a person, how to stand out. There's even more, right? Understand. Eventually, you guys got to learn how to write your UC essays, write the personal statement essays, the supplements, right? You're seeing that when you're applying to each school has their own set of essays as well too. You got to learn how to edit this, how to write an activity list. It's not a resume, it's an activity list as well too. How to do the Common App. They only give you 150 characters, not a lot, right? So how do you maximize that? For those of you in like portfolio majors, art, film, theater, how to put together a portfolio as well too. Interviews, right, is a big thing. After you submit, there's interviews as well too. There's tons and tons of pages of application stuff, creating the portals, figure out everything to do here. So that's a lot, right? So far, quick pause, right? Some of you guys are like, oh yeah, I know half of those. I'll have like, there's more. There's some more things that I gotta learn. And you guys are basically getting your bachelor's in college admissions right now, right? And then so specifically, it's a lot of things to do. What do we need to focus on, right? So that's kind of the big thing, right? So there's a lot of things out there, but you don't have to do everything. Plus, you don't have to know everything is the other trick as well, too. So what do you need to know? What do you need to make sure? So first off, timelines, right? So based on your year, there's different goals for each of us, right? So the first one, if you're an 8th or 9th graders, right, you want to pick classes, right, that would lead you into the more rigorous courses, the AP, the IB, the dual enrollment courses later on as well too. Again, keep in mind that if you miss a class at the beginning, you might prevent yourself from getting to a certain level that you need before graduation itself, right? Make sure you avoid activity overload. You don't want to do like a million things, right? Do a few things that are really strong for you. That's gonna be the thing as well too. Begin journaling as well too, right? This is a big thing because this is the writing style of the college essays. For students who have journaled, you'll notice that they write really easily when it comes to sharing it on their college. That's a lot of students struggle, right? It's because they don't have this kind of skill of self-reflection as well too. Building leadership habits early, right? We talk about formal leadership and informal leadership. You don't need a title. People think leadership is only titles. No, that's one half of leadership. The other half is the informal side of leadership as well. So you also want to make sure you track your extracurricular accomplishments. Again, a lot of our seniors, you get it now because now you try to think back, what did I do all these years? Versus if you started off by tracking everything, it just becomes a let's look back and see what I did kind of move. So that's for 8th or 9th graders, right? If you are a 10th grader as well, to change the goals change a little bit, right? Now we want to make sure your rigor, right, is getting there. Your number of AP, IB, dual enrollment classes, and the GPA trend itself, right? You want to find a core activity or like a personal, we call them personal projects. You hear the word passion project, right? Personal projects is the key here. You want to start start looking at your majors, right? We tell our students, we call it tasting your major, right? How do you taste something? How do you know you're interested in something over here? And understand the requirements. This is if you're interested in UC. A lot of our families are interested in a lot of UC-based schools. So understand what the A through G requirements are. The seven A, B, C, D, E, F, G, seven activities that seven categories of activities that you need to make sure you accomplish before you graduate from high school, right? Using summer for enrichment to do more. A lot of people treat summer as like a casual, again, which is fine if you're not aiming for a competitive school, but a lot of you guys, I'm assuming, are applying to a competitive school. So using summer to get ahead is one of the big things here, and start exploring what college is the best fit for the student, right? Just because a school is ranked really high doesn't mean that's the best fit for them, right? So let's say, for example, the student really loves big schools, right? That's like a UC. The schools are massive, the classes are massive, versus vice versa. Some private schools are very small, right? Very small school, very small classes. Well, too, again, everyone has their own preferences over here. As we make our way into junior year, right? We make our junior year. This is when you want to make sure you lock in your final academic rigor. This is the last year the readers will see your class performance. They'll see classes for 12th grade, but the last year they'll see a performance here. The SAAC, this is a big topic nowadays, last few years, when schools shifted from test required over to test optional. Some schools call it test flexible, test recommended, all these kind of fancy words for it as well too, right? Understanding should you not take the exam is key, because let's say you shouldn't, right? Or it's a waste of time. And if you spend so many time here, you just waste a bunch of time doing this if that's not something that's meant for you guys. Also making sure you follow out your activity list, right? Now we want to grow into the leadership, the depth of all this as well too. This is also a good time for a lot of our juniors to start thinking about what topics would be a great topic for my essays, for my college essays as well too. Visiting tours, right? Post 2020, all the schools, if not most schools, have virtual tours. Then you can actually tour the school without actually having to physically go there right away there as well too. You're gonna start kind of refining your college list, recommend what schools is a best match for you guys. This is also a very important year for building relationship with whoever's going to write you a letter of rec. Keep in mind, most likely you won't ask a senior teacher for this, just because they won't know you as much, versus like a younger grade teacher who have spent years knowing who you are here. And again, using summer for writing, right? As well too, right? This is not just like writing for the college essays, but again, if you're applying to scholarships, right? If you're doing summer programs, all this stuff, this is where you can use the writing for here. And that'll take us to our seniors as well too. If you're a senior right now, right, you're going against the clock right now as well too. So there's a lot of things. You got to finalize all your essays, supplements. Keep in mind, every school does have their own set of supplements. There's a set of essay questions specific to them. Keep in mind your deadlines as well too. Every school does have their own different deadline cycles, and it's different for every single school. So keep that in mind as well too. Write them all down. Also understand, are you applying early or regular? Because that might make a difference on your different time as well too. Some financial aid is huge. Make sure you submit your financial aid forms on time, because keep in mind, FAFSA is the application. You send off the FAFSA to get your aid back from the colleges, not FAFSA. FAFSA is just the application you get back from the schools themselves as well too, right? At the end of the year, you're going to request your transcripts and everything there to send to the colleges. Make sure you prepare for the interviews. Again, it's not just an answering interview like a job, right? It's more like a confidence, like best fit type of interview as well too. Making sure you keep track of your report. So once students start submitting in your applications, you want to check your report like once a week, once every 2 weeks, just to make sure this isn't up, because some schools will ask for additional information. These, I call these supplemental ones, or augmented reviews. Check it out. But the big thing also, again, avoiding burnout, right? Avoiding, don't stress out too hard. Make sure you have your form of relaxation, and so you don't kind of burn out this year. Because again, this is only the beginning. If you're in college, it gets double from here. So the TLDR, too long didn't read, is that for a lot of the families who are hearing all this, you're like, wow, I'm already behind. That's what too, right? And keep in mind, it's not because you're behind because you're lazy. I talk to so many students every single day, so many families. The students aren't lazy, right? It's because no one tells you what to do how much to do as well too. So our goal here in this call, in the future, in our resources, in our programs, it's just to help you sort through everything to make sure you guys have the guidance you guys need to do well in this process here. Okay, so let's go ahead and summer priorities. So again, if you're watching this live, we're in the month of July right now as well too. If you watch this in July, keep in mind we are doing our price increase in August. So keep that spoilers in mind for the next few sections, right? But for you guys, how do you maximize this summer? So if you're a current student, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grader this summer, there are a few things, priorities that you need to make sure that you do and spend your time doing. If not, again, now's a good time to start to make sure you are doing the things as well, right? So when it comes to our new high school friends, or 8th and 9th graders, right? Big thing here is making sure you select classes that align with the requirements that you need, right? A few requests, or there's a few. Keep in mind, there's ones for high school graduation, making sure those are good. Usually your high school counselor helps you with that. Next one is the A through G requirements. If you're interested in the UC schools, they have a separate set of classes you need to make sure you do. Spoilers, if you're in California, your A through G is the high school graduation. So that's kind of double dipping here, right? So keep an eye. But if you're not in California, in another state, and you're interested in the UCs, make sure you look up the A through G requirements. Make sure you hit that, because your high school might not have the same requirements as the A through G itself. The big thing is also getting involved in activities, right? It's getting things that match your interest. That's the key. Things you like to do, not do things that look good for college. A lot of students I talk to, I hear that, I'm like, oof, let's take a pause, let's kind of step back, let's do that. Just do stuff that matches your interest is the key. Clubs, sports, volunteering. Again, if you hate sports, don't do sports. Do something else that matches what, again, the student is interested in, right? Again, we tell students right away, start tracking all this in a Google Doc and journal somewhere so you can start tracking again. So as you go through it, you don't have to think back, oh, what did I do freshman year? What did I do sophomore year? You can just pull it up and say, oh, look, that's right. I did these things these long as well too, right? Another big one is look into summer programs as well. To a lot of summer programs, their applications will be opening up in November and December. It's not summer, right? You start the prep for that even early. Like a lot of people tell me, oh, I'll get started prepping for that when the school year begins. I'm like, that's way too late. If you're prepping for the school year, you should be prepping now for the school year. Because when the school year is happening, you're prepping for next summer already. That's kind of how the mentality of kind of prepping for all this as well, too, right? That's the big one. Next one, building habits, right? Building habits. And again, we're starting to hit a lot of the core things that, again, a lot of the successful students tend to do as well, too. Again, it's not they study hard, they're really active. It's these soft skills, learning how to manage their time is probably one of the biggest things. You know how many students, how many parents tell me my child is busy? And I'm like, I would challenge that. I would challenge that as well. Too. I'm like, are we really busy? And then we kind of poke a few things. We find out, nope, you feel that you're busy because, again, it feels like you're just reacting to a lot of things, right? But if you map everything out for me, you put it all on the calendar, and you kind of go through your day that way, you realize you actually have a lot of time, right? Another fun example, I tell our students, open your phone app up and open the screen time. I'm like, hey, how many hours do you spend on your phone on TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff, right? Tends to be a lot more than you would think. So I think that's something to think about as well too. So calendar use, planning, and goal setting as well too. Again, getting comfortable with time blocking, right? Of like understanding, hey, I want to focus on my homework this time. I'm studying for my test here and things out. So nothing is a shock to you is a thing. Also making sure to start exploring colleges and majors, right? Why do we start this early? Because this will help you prepare for your classes to take and your activities later on as well too. If you don't know, which again, realistically, you don't know as an 8th and 9th grader, you probably have an inkling. I think I want to do this, and that's something we always encourage students, go towards that direction. If you think it, keep trying it, because as you try it, you're either gonna like it more or you hate it. One of those two things is the key over here. Okay. Next thing is gonna be also, again, writing about yourself as well too. Short journal entries, right? This is one of the things we tell students. Again, one of the big things right now, we just finished a weekend, our accelerator weekend, where we help our students with their college essays, get them as far as they can in 2 days, back to back with nonstop editing as well too. The big thing, it's the hardest part for students to do, is to talk about themselves, and that's a really hard skill, because in school they tell you don't talk about yourself. I don't care about your opinion, right? But when it comes to the college essays, scholarship essays, I only care about you. I don't really care about anyone else. I don't care about anything else. So I think that's the big thing, is to shift students into this writing mode of learn and talk about themselves is going to be a big key. So start early. It's a very natural habit for them later on, right? Next thing is going to be summer priorities, right? So for 10th graders, if you're a 10th grader, same thing now. You see a few similarities here. Core activities is still a big thing. Activities, I would say, is more important than your academics, and also a little less important than your essays that we talk about as well too. So that's gonna be a core thing here. Also exploring majors, right? What majors do you think? Again, we're expanding. Keep in mind, if you change your mind, it's cool. I had a student this past year, when we met her as a 9th grader, she was a computer science student. We actually interviewed her. If you look up egelloC UPenn, you'll find it right away. She's spoilers, she went to UPenn, right? Or she's going to UPenn. She starts off a computer science major. Then she switched a few times to end up at healthcare and business. So super, super flowy over here as well too, right? Next one, take a few steps towards a passion project, personal project as well too. This is a very easy way to talk about your interest and what you care about in like a project form over here. Again, start outlining your activity list. People call it a brag sheet, something that later on when you ask for letters of recommendation, right, they can go ahead and help you with that as well too. Right, next thing is going to be using summer to build your volunteering, shadowing, exploration. Again, do you need to do this as well? Again, depends on the student, depends on, is that's part of you. I've had students with like no volunteering, they still make it in top colleges. So again, do you need to do this? No. The reason why some schools offer it is because some schools like to help you with this, and you should have this. But to my knowledge, there's no school with a volunteering requirement. So keep that in mind as well too. You also want to start identifying some schools, right? To help you guys figure out what schools is going to be a good match for you. Reach, target, safety schools as a good general metric as well too. Safety schools is if you look at your average stats, if your average stats are above the school's average, that's a safety school. If your stats are equal, that's a target school. If your stats are under the average of that school, that's a reach school. Or if the reach school has a 20% acceptance rate or less, it's an automatic reach for everyone as well too. Okay. Understand with IB, AP, and dual enrollment. Keep in mind, if you've been following me for a while, I'm really, really big on dual enrollment. You're able to get the same result in half the time, half the work, with a lot of the perks. So we have a lot of trainings on that. If you guys need that, let us know. We can send you that as well too. But the big thing also, again, is using a spreadsheet to track your college, your majors, and so you know exactly kind of what to do as well here. And again, watch YouTube videos. We have over 700 hours of YouTube videos, and we have literally walkthroughs. I think our biggest videos, by the way, right now is the UC app walkthrough, the Common App walkthrough. All these schools, you can see exactly what it is. It's shocking, right? A lot of students who are applying to college, they don't even know, right? Know exactly what the future, what their app looks like, and they're just guessing along the way. I'm like, no, start with the end in mind. Let's see what the app looks like, so you know what to expect. Because once you know what the app looks like, you're like, oh, that's why I'm doing this. That's the whole thing working backwards over here. Okay, that's being sophomores. 11th graders, right? So if you're 11th graders now, we're getting closer. You start seeing it similar, but there's a few differences here. Now you gotta start finalizing your college list, your reach, your target, your safety score, locking your test pen. Should you not take it is the thing. So first off, I always ask students, are you going to test required school or test optional school? Because if you're going to test required, no choice, you have to take it as well too. But if you're going to test optional school, the question is, should you not? A lot of our students, for context, did not submit it to test optional schools. They still made it in. So we learned that number one is not required if it's optional. That being said, though, right, when should you do it? Typically, as a general rule of thumb, what we know is the past few years is that we had our students submit it if they were within the 50th percentile average of the school. So just Google college 50th percentile. If your score is within that range, send it in. It's going to help you with your application, or higher, right? Then you're good. If you're not within that range, if you're under it, you can probably not do it or not take this test, and you'll be fine. There's other areas, again, that are more important to get right, right? Next thing, writing your rough drafts of the PIQs or the personal statements. Again, just getting the writing process kind of in. Start gathering this as well too. Start gathering your activity list, your essays, narrowing your majors. Again, keep in mind, again, do you know exactly what major you're gonna do? Probably not yet, right? But you also want to know kind of also we call it the pathway. What pathway are you going down? There's usually like three big pathways out there. The first pathway is like the engineering computer science majors that I put you under one bucket. The second bucket I put under like the science students and the business students, another bucket. The third bucket is humanities. So anything else is not above, you're probably humanities, because each of these will have different overlays. Overlays are things that a reader's trained to look for in your application, your academics activities. So for example, the academics, if you're doing pathway one, engineering computer science, we want to see strong math, almost like finish Calc BC by junior year, so you can go to college and take like higher level math, for example, right? Or if you're like pathway three, like humanities, you don't have to go that high. You can go with like pre-calc and AP stats, and you're fine as well. So again, depending on your major, that's why it's important to kind of know which your major to help determine what things you need to do is the key here, right? Again, use summer to do something impactful. Again, internships, classes, research, personal projects. And the question that you hear all the time is or. Should I do this or that? This or that? And I was kind of flip it. I'm like, can you do and? Can you do this and that? This and that. And the question is always, the answer is usually yes, by the way. So you probably can do it. It's all going back to earlier I mentioned, it's a soft skill. Time management. If you don't know how your time, if I tell a student, tell me how tomorrow's going to look like, and they don't know, you haven't planned your day. If you ask me, I know exactly what I'm doing for the next 3 weeks because everything is mapped out almost like hour to hour. For me, 30-minute chunks, right? As well too of everything. So I know exactly what I'm planning to do every single block of each day, and that's for you to maximize the hours in your day. That's how you should be kind of thinking about it too. Hey, I'm this hour, I'm in school. This hour, I'm doing homework. This hour, I'm doing this activity, and you're blocking everything out that way as well too. Also start thinking about letters of recs as well too. I don't think we're sharing this call, but the trick to letters of rec is they need to be someone who knows you outside of what you're already going to share in your application itself. So if you show the readers in your application that you're a smart cookie as well too, if the recommender says you're smart, doesn't do anything for me. It's like, oh, I already know that. That doesn't bring anything new. The idea of a letter of a recommendation, it's new information for you guys over here. Same thing, deadlines on a sheet of paper. Again, to that boot camp, get your essays, work on essays, college prep stuff, and then again, parents start doing your money stuff, because keep in mind when they look at your money, they go back 2 years. It's not the same year or immediate year. It's going back 2 years from graduation itself there. So keep that in mind. So again, when people say, "Oh, I'm gonna start doing financial aid stuff when I'm a senior," and then a lot of the tweaks you can make, by the way, spoilers, tweaks you can make, you can't really do that anymore as a senior. That should have started 10th grade. 10th, 11th grade is when you should have done all the things to help maximize the aid that you could get, is the key over here, right? And for our seniors, right, as well too, for our incoming seniors, and you should have your essays almost done, if not completed by summer. That's kind of the goal for our own coaching families. We have you essays done because again, senior year is crazy. You also want them to enjoy the senior year. So we try to get most of these things done as best they can, and you can, right? If you start early enough, you edit each week, you will get it done beforehand. I worked with a few students past weekend. They're pretty much almost there. They're like 80% done. I have like maybe 3-4 more edits with them, and they should be ready to submit. And I'm confident that they will do good in the process. Again, it's all about starting early and prepping for that as well too. You can get your letters of recs in as well. You should have asked already. For those who do letters of recs, you will officially ask in the fall once the platforms open. Make sure that the deadlines as well too, right? So all the applications, fun fact, they all open August 1st as well too. Actually, all of them open August 1st, not October 1st, right? They all open August 1st as well too. And then you will submit, everyone has their own different deadlines, right? Some of the early ones are due in October. The UC Cal States are due in November. Private schools are due in December, January. So those are different deadlines as well too. Again, finalizing your college list, we see students apply to like 10, 15 school on average is kind of the key for us. I had a girl last year, she applied to 47 colleges. So with us over there, I do not recommend applying to 47 schools, but in case you want to, that is our record right now. That's a student that with the most number of schools for her over here. So that's that. And then being able to submit your early action decision, again, keep in mind the month of October is where it is. We have our students be done by October 1st. When it comes to interviews, right? Schools will ask for interviews. It's not a knowledge interview, right? Keep in mind the interview is for fit. They want to see, would you be a good fit for the schools, number one. And number two, right? It's a way for you to be selfish and ask questions you want to ask from someone who went there, because usually alumni, someone who's interviewing you is someone who went to the school and can provide context for you if you're interested. Because keep in mind, interview is both ways. Most people think, oh, I'm just trying to get an interview for them. No, it's both ways. I want to interview them, but I want to know if it's a good school for me. So keep in mind it's the both sides as well too. Scholarship is a big one as well too, right? Scholarship is free money that you earn. So you have to apply for these. But if you get it, it's free. So that's the big thing. Keep in mind here. Make sure you're good for graduation A through G requirements. Get help with some essay support. Make sure you fill out your FAFSA CSS profile. They open October 1st. Make sure it's like a pot. I call it like the pot of gold analogy. So the sooner you submit it, the more you can put your hand in and grab money out. The longer you wait, you have to dig, right? You have to put your hand in a little deeper to try to dig for money, which again is a little harder. So the sooner the better is always the recommendation over here. Again, set up a calendar for deadlines as well, right? So again, keep in mind, summer is an opportunity to not just relax, which I do encourage students to relax, especially if you work really, really hard here. Take a break, relax, sleep 8 hours a night finally, right? But the key is you to get ahead. I think that's the big thing, because I'm assuming a lot of you guys are aiming for top colleges, and that's kind of the big thing. Use summer to get ahead. Again, yes, take the break, but then there's 24 hours in a day. You can sleep 8 hours. Here, sleep 9 hours, right? But then you still have 15 hours left in a day. The question is, how do you spend 15 hours in your day? Times it by 10 weeks, right? Is the thing there. So just keeping that in mind. Okay. Before we dive in next section, right? A few systems that we've seen a lot of our students do that has done really, really well for them. Again, if you want to copy it, feel free to. If you don't want to copy it, feel free not to as well too. But again, a lot of our top students have told us this is kind of part of the things that has able to help them do well and manage all the tasks they need to do really well as well too, right? So we call it down to systems. What systems do you need to set up to make sure you're good? Because again, nothing is accidental, right? That's the big thing you know, right? None of our students accidentally gone to the Ivies. None of our students accidentally gone to top schools. There's things that they're doing consistently that got them there. That's the big thing, right? So when people told me, "Oh, I have a summer left. I'm a C student, but I want to go to Harvard," I'm like, "Wow, that's a very ambitious task to get to as well." Because again, do you have the habits to be a Harvard student? Is kind of the analogy here. So a few things, right? A few things for our students, right? These are little pro tips that we tell some of our students. They have adopted that done really well. One big thing. Again, tracking everything, right? This is when students, the biggest thing I hear all the time. Coach Tony, my child has no time. Coach Tony, my child is busy. Coach Tony, I'm busy, right? All this stuff. I'm like, cool. Do you know what you're doing tonight? Do you know what you're doing tomorrow? Do you know what you're doing next week? If you don't know, then how can you plan for everything, right? So I tell students, go map everything out, right? By the way, spoilers, right? Pop quiz. What's the first thing you schedule on your calendar? Right, so you have a calendar. You can use old school paper or Google Docs or Google Calendar. The first thing you schedule is your sleeping time, right? That's the non-negotiable. As a human, you have to sleep or else you die, right? So I tell students, block your sleep. And this is why, again, parents who told me, oh, my kid stays up at 2 in the morning. They don't have to. They're doing, because again, they think they don't have time, so they're just pushing everything back. They do have time. Plan for it. If you plan to, I'm going to sleep this to this, then I have this many hours left. Let me figure out how to do everything within the hours left, and you can. We all have 24 hours in a day, right? None of us have more time, and if you do, I'll trade you. I would love more time, right? But all of us have the same amount of time in the day. It's how you use it is the key there. So we tell students block sleeping time and a lot of other things, commute time as well too. Again, blocking out homework, test prep, and all this on your account, so you know exactly what to do over here. Again, we tell our students to check your grades weekly. We do this with our own students, right? Because why? Again, your child doesn't magically get a B. Oh no, out of nowhere, they got a B. Oh no, they got a C. Oh no, they failed the class. There's none of that. No school I've seen is A to F. You see it happening. Oh, 1 week is 99, next week 96, next week 94, next week 92, next week 91. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to be a B student because you see the track record of that. So again, the more frequent you track this, the easier you'll find out. It's no accident why we can catch things fast. Once you see the dip, we're like, oh, let's bounce. And I don't wait, by the way, to 91 to bring it back up. I see it down to 94. I'm like, uh-oh, we're 4% away. How do you bring it back up now is the key, right? Breaking things down to smaller chunks for our students. Again, a lot of our students, by the way, are procrastinators as well too. So one of the things we tell them, okay, break down each of your things into smaller tasks. So now you have smaller deadlines to hit as well too. Now you can't, right, wait till the last minute as well anymore, because you have everything done anyways, is the thing. We tell our students each week, plan out your week as well too, because every week is different. Some weeks you have an exam, a final, you study for last week, but some weeks you don't. And if those weeks you don't, then you don't do that as well too, right? And then make sure you have focus blocks for projects and studying as well too. Next one is going to be your academic stuff. The big thing you want to keep in mind is rigor. Rigor is the most important part of the academics, not the GPA, right? People keep talking about GPA all the time. It's a number, it makes you feel good or feel bad, right? For me, I care about the rigor of your schedule. How difficult is your schedule? Number of AP level, IB level, dual enrollment level classes you're taking. The reason why college doesn't get easier, it gets harder. And when it gets harder, as a reader, I want to know you can handle the workload of that is the key. That's why rigor is so important. So again, if your grades are dumb, it's cool. Upward trend, show the increase in your grades. That's the key as well too. By the way, if you're watching as a senior, right? But if you're the summer after 11th grade is the last summer, so make sure that goes up very strong as well too, right? If you're studying for the SAT or ACT, right? If you're doing test prep, one of the big things to keep in mind is that the test is standardized. Everything on the exam, they tell you it's on the exam. There's no pop quizzes. There's no surprises. The stat is if you take 3 full-length practice tests, you should hit 99% of questions that will be tested on the exam itself. The reason why people still get bad scores is they get the same mistake twice. The question is, if you took 3 exams and you never made the same mistake twice, you'd get almost a perfect score is the key, right? So keep that in mind as well too. Again, the big thing is studying and making sure you practice what you study is the key here. And the biggest thing is time management, not just doing things, but also saying no to opportunities and things that doesn't serve. We tell our students, try things out, taste things. If you don't like it, drop it. Because I don't want your kid to do something just to look good for college, right? I want them to do something they enjoy. So if it's not going to be good for them, drop it. I'm also big on rest, right? People think oh yeah, do okay. No, you gotta sleep. If you don't sleep, you gotta eat, and you make sure you gotta do all these things to make sure you guys are good for everything there. And big thing, parent systems, right? Parents, every family's a little different, so this may or may not apply to you guys. We have some families who are parents who are very involved. We have some parents who are not as involved as well too. Either way, we do encourage our parents to stay involved somewhat, so you know what's going on. Some parents tell me, I'm letting my child take control of everything. You're letting a 14-year-old control something that could determine the rest of their life. That's wild. It's a wild world we live. My parents would never do that for me. I was I know if you think back to when you were 14, I didn't know anything about the world, right? So again, when parents tell me I'm letting my child figure it out, I'm like, oof, it's a lot of trust in a little child right there as well too. So again, parents, I'm sure you want to play a little role, kind of point them in the right direction, kind of prevent them from kind of the big cliff moments as well too is the key, right? I always tell our family again to keep it easy again. Set boundaries and place again. Sometimes, right, the flip happens. The parents are so involved that it overwhelms the student. The student is stressed out. Because again, keep in mind, parents, spoilers, your kids want to impress you. They want to like get your affection as well too. So the better you praise them, the happier they get is the key. It's how humans work as a society. So again, they're gonna do it, but if they feel all that pressure, it does the opposite effect. It makes them more stressed out than anything else as well too. So I tell people again, set clear boundaries for everything here. Okay. That being said, I have a few cool stories for you guys to share that kind of ties in a few of these topics as well too, right? One of the stories we had is Emma. If you guys have we have a book that we published as well too. Emma's one of our cool stories that we shared in the book, so if you guys can see that, you'll see same Emma as well too, right? So one of the cool things about Emma is that rigor, right? So here's one of the tricks for you guys as well too. So a lot of you guys keep adding a bunch of AP level courses, right? Could you do it? You could. However, what you could do instead is dual enrollment. Dual enrollment is one semester, half a year long, with the same weight as a 4-year AP with a 5 on the exam. So instead of doing all that work, I just take a college class and get in easier, the same effect. I would do that. Also, with college classes, you get to pick your professors. Also, with college classes, you get to take it online as well too. So a lot of really cool perks for that. So that's something what we did with Emma. She was able to kind of supplement her schedule. So instead of taking like multiple APs, we cut half of it to APs and half of it to college level courses, right? And that was able to help her out with that as well. Another one, right? Maya, right? Maya is one of our students as well too. And then one of the big things for her is a personal project, right? We call them passion project, personal projects as well too. Keep in mind that's going to be what is personal to her is the key itself, right? Again, we if you read the story here, right, it's not about making it impressive or looking good. For her, she put together a podcast, right? She put a podcast, she interviewed students and therapists. That's it, right? She just asked, and she wasn't the pro either. She didn't have to like be the expert. She again, we had a cool podcast. You talked to, you can be, you don't know anything, right? I told her treat it as, hey, you don't know anything. You want to just learn from people, and that's what she did. And now she's actually way more knowledgeable than most people as well too, because she's learned so much as a result of that. But again, the whole takeaway is that it's something that she's interested and passionate about. That's the key over here. Another one is going to be the application support, right? Little tip, by the way, for those who already started your essays, right? Started your essays about too. The big thing we tell students is make sure you have the right topics. Because if you don't have the right topics, you're gonna hit a wall, right? You're gonna get writer's block. You're not gonna know what to talk about as well too. Versus our students, they can talk forever, and the reason why is we picked the right topic. So for this student, Nathan, we actually had him start over. We told him, "Hey, yours wasn't that good, right?" And he used theme too. I hate themes when people theme all four prompts together. Like, oh, no, don't do that at all. Terrible, right? No themes at all, right? Everything should be different topics. So we told him, "Hey, let's completely start over." The reason why it's easier to start over than to kind of try to fix it, we call it putting lipstick on a pig, right? This is all you. No matter how good you do it, it's not going to be perfect. So we have them start over. And for a lot of our students, by the way, who are seniors in July. If you start and you're stuck, you may not have the right topic. I was restart now. It's easier restart now than restart in September is the thing, right? So again, our strategy, our exact tip by tip, right? We did a live call this yesterday. So if you guys want to find that, I can send to you guys too. But step one, don't look at the questions. That's spoilers. Do not look at the questions. First one, list out all your activities, experience, identities. From there, you want to pick the top 4 or 5 things that define you as who you are today. Looking at your list, what made you the person that you are today? Once you have that, then the 4 things, there's a story. There's a story to each of those. I call it story time. Tell me the story, but tell me in 30 seconds. The reason why is I don't care about the story. I just want to know quickly what happened. Then the insight, the most important part is dig deep. Dig deep. You're answering 3 questions. Number 1 is why. Why did you do what you did? Number 2 is how. How has it made you who you are? Number 3 is who. Who have you become as a result? Those are the 3 things that are the most important thing that a reader is trained to look for. No matter what you do, again, unfortunately, fortunately, as well too, right? Whatever you end up doing, it's not going to be original anymore in today's world, right? You do sports, a lot of kids do sports. You do research, a lot of kids do research. You work the job, a lot of kids work the job. So the things that you do is not that special. What makes you special is you. That's the key you want to focus on. So we had him start over. He got 6 UCs, including UCLA, which was his dream school. One more thing for financial aid as well, too, if you guys are interested as well, because a lot of the families that work with us, they tend to make a little more money than the federal limit to qualify for free aid as well too. However, if those who haven't met him, Coach David's our kind of financial aid kind of expert when it comes to this. He's actually a former lawyer himself as well too, so he kind of understands how the system works and everything. So one thing that he does, he helps our families find, it's called institutional aid, money directly from the colleges that again usually has a higher limit than a lot of students. So one of the things that like I mentioned earlier, again, if you can start early because again, some things can be beneficial if you start early. So one of his family, when they met Coach David in sophomore year, if you guys go online, look up the calculators, how much money you expect to get, they got 0. This family wouldn't qualify for anything because they make a little too much money as well too. They just worked with us as well too, and Coach David was able to help them find $37,000 in free money they don't have to pay back as well too. So keep that in mind, right? So again, if you guys haven't chatted with Coach David, definitely reach out. connect to me, I can connect you to him as well. He has like a lot of our families that work with make like over 100,000 a year, like 100, 500, I would say, is like the bracket group that he can help the most as well too. There's one family he couldn't help. They made 1.3 million. That was a two past the limit as well. But then if you guys make that, again, he's a great resources as well. Okay. I do have some freebies for you guys today, but before we get there, can I really quick? We have people. We have a lot of people here. We have 120 people who just watch me ramble as well too. Is it okay if I do a quick 3 minute ask how I can help you guys before I give away the freebies? Real quick, yes in the chat if I can give you guys drop a quick yes. Oops, quick yes in the chat. If I can go ahead and do a quick little like 4 minute how our team can help you before we use some freebies as well too. All right, lot of yeses coming. Thank you everyone for sharing as well too. Right. So again, this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Just giving you some guidance, some tips, some strategies, but you can see it's a lot. There's a lot of things. It sounds scary, sounds stressful, but again, it's usually for a lot of families. This is your first time. This is your first time doing this process. This is your second kid, but you are going through it all over again. Yeah, you're catching up to make sure you do it versus this is all our team does every single day. We help students get into colleges. That's our thing. Just like your job, you're probably the best at your job. I can't do your job as good as you. Same thing. I would argue that our team does this a lot better than most parents do on their own as well too. So we've helped a lot of families again cut through a noise, keep the fluff, and help you stand out with what readers see. That's, by the way, that's our unique angle when it comes to this. Is also when it comes to us. A lot of people talk about how do I stand out for admissions. That's not our focus. Our focus is how do we give the admission readers what they're trained to look for. That's the difference between us and a lot of other groups, right? For me, as a former Berkeley admissions reader myself, my friends who are admission readers at all these schools, the Ivies and all too, we just understand, oh, they're looking for this. Let's just give them that. So I think that's why our students, if you've been following us, you can see, if you check our website, you can see tons of our success stories of our Ivy students, our top private school students, top state students as well too. They're just consistently getting in because again, we're just giving them what they want. And if you read their bios, you hear their stories, they didn't do anything super special. It's not like they cured cancer or anything, right? But again, we just know what the readers are looking for. So we just focus on specifically that. For example, spoilers, GPA is one of the least important things we care about, right? So if you thought this whole time GPA is important, not as much, not as much as well too. The essays, I would say, is like the most important. Kind of, it works its way downward there. So that's kind of thing. Two other things we always hear a lot of families talk about is like, hey, my child's in 8th, 9th. It's too early to get started. I'll wait. And we have families on the other side. Oh man, senior year is too late for us as well too. So I think for us, it's always the sooner the better is thing because the more time we just get to kind of prep slower versus seniors. Again, it's never too late. I would say again, it depends on what your goals are, right? Maybe your goals are maybe more ambitious, and our team will be real to let you guys know with us is all. But if you guys do choose to move on next step and work with us, a few things. Our goal is going to help you guys figure out clarity, what you need to do to make sure admissions notices you. Number two, we help you with all the areas, the academics, the activities, and the applications. We're going to help you work on your projects and help you figure this out, help you with the strategy for the essays, financial aid, test planning as well too, and one-on-one and live support from our team who are former admission readers, former admissions folks, education folks. We retrain everyone in our system to make sure everyone's good to go as well too. So we tailor everything to the student. It's customized to them. Their team is centered around them is the thing. So we'll help you guys pick your classes if you're starting high school. We'll help you with your essays if you're a senior as well too. The big reason we're doing this training right now is time sensitive. We are increasing our rates every year. So if you've been with us for a year, you know every August 1st, we bump our price up just to account for inflation. Is it because we do lifetime pricing? We don't charge year by year. If you're an 8th grader, you pay the same price as a 12th grader. That's kind of our logic as well too, because as a 8th grader, you get more time. Senior, I just run the same playbook with you, just faster is all there. So again, annual increases on university. If you want to start, now's a good time. Basically, the call to action for you guys, if you guys are interested in taking the next step, you can go ahead and text the word coach me or 2 words coach me to our number 949-775-0865, right? And what's going to happen? They're going to set you up with a free 15-minute coaching call first. We want to help you out first, right? And kind of see if we can earn your trust first. So help you guys out first, not call. And if we can help you, we can set up a second call to talk about our programs afterwards. But that's kind of the key, right? There are a few bonuses to incentivize you guys for to book this session as well too. Again, to text coach me as well. We have a few bonuses. So for those of you who do want to just book your call again to qualify, for just book the call before August 1st as well too, you get a few things just for booking the call. I'm gonna give you a few bonuses. Bonus number one, I'm gonna give it to his doc. I went through it really, really fast as well too. So I'm gonna give you guys access. You guys can kind of slow down and kind of take notes and do it piece by piece. Number two, I'm gonna give you our personal project starter kit. We have been running this with our coaching families for the past few months. Literally, it's a checklist timeline how to start their personal projects out. So if your child doesn't have one, they want to build one as well too. We'll give them this kind of this kit, right? It has like training videos, it has step by step, it has guides, it has templates for them to kind of go exactly what they want to do as well too. Just for booking the call, we just give you that free gift for booking as a thank you gift for us as well. And for those of you who have talked to us in the past, you have booked the call, but you haven't finished yet as well too. You guys can, again, same thing, text the word coach me, same number, and we'll book a next step strategy call for you guys. See what if you guys want to get started before August 1st, and you guys will qualify for the bonuses as well too. So that's just for booking the call. However, for those of you who want to can partner up with us on this journey and you join as well too, we're going to give you a few extra bonuses as well too. Number one, something we're doing that's pretty cool. We're calling it the scholarship boot camp, right? So again, a lot of our families talking about, hey, we want to find free money for school, scholarships, but no one really knows what to do or how to do them. So what we're going to do with our students, we're going to teach you literally how to find scholarships, how to write the essays, and the entire time you're in our program, you do unlimited edits for you for your scholarship essays until you're good as well too. For as many scholarships as you want, as well, we'll help you guys with that is part one. Next thing we're gonna do, right, is we have something we call the callers list generator. You guys plug in your stats. Our team's gonna go ahead and help you recommend what schools to do, what schools, what reach schools, safety school, match schools for you guys as well too. It's really cool thing that we built for our students. You guys will have access to that as well too. And something really exciting is that we're doing something we call a 2-week incubator, internship incubator. For those of you guys who are interested, like a lot of our students are hands-on, they want to be hands-on as well too. Internship is a really good way to do that, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a 2-week step-by-step live courses with our team, with Coach Victor and myself. Coach Victor is actually the guy who is our go-to when it comes to internship. He's gonna teach you step-by-step how to find an internship from scratch. No need for any connections, no need for any referrals. You're gonna find your own internship as well too, and teach you step-by-step how to do that. It's only these 3 bonuses are only exclusive for families who do join within before August 1st. And any of our current coaching families, if you're watching this right now as well too, you guys will get access to all 3s automatically starting next month. So keep that in mind as well. Okay. One more thing I do want to share. You can't buy. If you notice, if you try go website, there's no buy button on anything, right? The reason why is we talk to every single family that comes in our door to see, can we help you? Because if we can't help you, I don't want to waste your time as well too. So again, we've talked to every single family. We coach you, give you some feedback, and we'll let you know, hey, we can help you. Here's what it looks like. Or we will tell you, I think 60% of families, we've said, hey, probably not a good fit. Here's why as well too, but here's some resources to help you guys out as well too. So we want to make sure we can deliver results for you guys as well. So that's why, right, if you want to join, first call is just a 15 minutes. Here's the coaching, and if you guys are interested, and if our team says, yep, we can help them win big, let's set up a second call, talk about the programs after that, right? So if you guys are interested, one more time, you can go ahead and text the word coach me, right? Text the word coach me to 949-775-0865. They can set you up on a call with one of our advisors to help you schedule that first call, right? But like I mentioned, there is a special bonus in case you guys were interested, right? One thing, I'm big on giving, right? Giving. We guys give a lot. So something we are doing, right? As part, I'm calling it the final countdown. 10 days, 10 gifts, one big decision as well too. So in your inboxes, starting tomorrow, you guys will be getting a freebie from our team every single day. They will probably be tips. Some of it will be tools. Some of it will be step-by-step things to do. Some days will just be reminders and encouragement for you and your student as well too. Each day is designed. We planned it out to give you exact actionable steps to do that will help you. Nothing like, oh, something silly, right? No, everything's been designed to help you guys out as well too. So you'll see there's checklists, there's planning tools, there's email templates for reaching out to people, there's project guides, everything is included as well too. So if you guys do not see that in your inbox starting tomorrow, reach out to our team. We can make sure your email is part of our list. We'll be starting and sending out tomorrow for the next 10 days before the end of the month to help you guys out as well too. It's kind of our big gift for you guys as a thank you as well for being here. And a few final thoughts as well too. We know that this journey can feel very overwhelming. A lot of parts, right? There's classes, the activities, the essays, financial aid, the testing, deadlines, and everything feels like a make it or break it future. And for us, we want to help you navigate this process, and you don't have to do it alone, right? We're going to help you do it, have you guys not waste any time as well. So if you guys thought this session was useful a little bit, if you learned a little thing on this session as well too, and you're thinking about get support, now's a really good time. Again, if you guys want to go ahead and text the word coach me to 949-775-0865. The bonuses for booking a call and everything expires August 1st, end of this month. So whether you want to get started or again get some feedback, and you can still get some feedback from our team, which is going to help you as well too. Again, go ahead and text us for that free call first. And again, who knows, right? A lot of our families do the free call, even if they don't get started with us, they have so much more clarity, and we get so many messages of students like, wow, my kid got this because of that free session you guys gave us as well. Okay. That being said, we want to be with you guys to support you guys this entire journey here. So if you guys are interested in taking the next step, I'll go ahead and leave this on the screen for a little bit. Go ahead and text the word coach me to 949-775-0865. Looking forward to working with your family in the future.